Hey there, film lovers. Today we're diving into the fascinating untold life story of one of Hollywood's most iconic and complicated stars, Robert Redford. From his picture-perfect looks to hidden tragedies, rebellious youth, and deep personal losses, Redford's journey has more twists than a Hollywood thriller. Whether you know him from The Sundance Kid, The Way We Were, or his game-changing work behind the camera, there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. Let's uncover 51 golden facts about this legendary leading man who wasn't always the golden boy everyone thought he was. The 51 golden facts about Robert Redford. 1. He was unpopular. Despite his good looks, Robert Redford had a tough childhood. Bullied for his red hair and freckles, he also struggled with hyperactivity and had a hard time fitting in. 2. He took a near-fatal dare. As a kid, Redford was dared to jump off a roof by a local gang. He survived the stunt, but just barely. 3. He was a delinquent. In his teens, Redford ran with a group called the Barons and got into breaking and entering, petty theft, and was eventually expelled from college due to drinking. 4. He lost his mother young. Just after high school, Redford's mother died of septicemia. The family didn't talk about it, leaving Redford to bury the pain. 5. He was stranded in Europe. While trying to become a visual artist, Redford ran out of money in Europe and had to sell his art on the street to afford a plane ticket home. 6. He hit it big. In 1969, Redford's breakout role as the Sundance Kid in Butch, Cassidy and the Sundance Kid made him an international star. 7. They didn't want him. The studio didn't want to cast Redford in Butch Cassidy. He was too unknown. It took Paul Newman and others to convince them otherwise. 8. He couldn't handle the pressure. The sudden fame from Butch Cassidy overwhelmed Redford, who struggled to understand his skyrocketing popularity. 9. He played mind games. To cope with his fame, Redford would sometimes pretend to be other people in public, including an exchange student from Bogota. 10. He hated being typecast. Redford despised being seen only for his looks and not taken seriously as an actor. 11. He buried a child. Redford and his wife Lola lost their first son, Scott, to SIDS shortly after his birth. 12. He became friends with a murderer. While on a soul-searching trip in Big Sur, Redford befriended a former inmate from Alcatraz who had served time for murder. 13. He was the star of the 70s. With hits like The Sting and The Way We Were, Redford was the face of 1970s Hollywood. 14. He was in a cult favorite. Redford starred alongside Barbra Streisand in The Way We Were, a film that would become a fan favorite despite backstage drama. 15. He scoffed at his character. Redford thought his character Hubble in The Way We Were was camp and too perfect like a Ken doll. 16. He disliked his co-lead. Redford didn't think Streisand was serious enough as an actress and feared she'd try to make the film into a musical. 17. She was infatuated with him. Streisand reportedly adored Redford, but he didn't return her feelings, leading to awkward scenes between them. 18. He doubled up. To avoid getting too close during intimate scenes, Redford wore 2 pairs of underwear during bed scenes with Streisand. 19. He refused to say one line. Redford refused to say the line, "It will be better this time," because he didn't want to imply he was bad in bed. 20. He refused to admit weakness. He also refused a line about his character's gray hair. He didn't want to look old. 21. He messed with his co-star. During one scene, Redford turned Streisand's face to her bad side on camera, knowing she hated it. 22. She outshone him. While The Way We Were became a hit, Streisand got most of the award's attention, not Redford. 23. Fans cornered him. Fans loved one particular scene so much they would approach Redford and try to brush his bangs like Streisand did in the movie. 24. He had a favorite director. Redford worked with director Sidney Pollack on 7 films and called him a kindred spirit. 25. He stirred the pot. Redford would challenge Pollack by questioning his camera placements, frustrating the director. 26. His director reprimanded him. Pollack told him to go sit in the woods for a while when Redford gave too much directing advice. 27. He drove his director crazy. Redford often failed to match props or actions in scenes, messing up continuity and annoying Pollack. 28. He had an answer for everything. When caught with continuity errors, Redford always had a clever comeback, never admitting fault. 29. He got in on the ground floor. When the Watergate scandal broke, Redford quickly secured rights to the story and later starred in All the President's Men. 30. He pounced on a scandal. Redford moved fast and bought the film rights to Woodward and Bernstein's book, beating out the competition. 31. He got serious. Redford had planned only to produce the film, but ended up starring in it as Bob Woodward due to pressure from investors. 32. His writer insulted him. Bernstein and his wife Nora Ephron didn't like the original script and wrote their own version behind Redford's back. 33. He finally made it. All the President's Men became a critical and commercial success, earning multiple Oscar nominations. 34. He became a director. Redford made his directing debut with Ordinary People in 1980, which earned him major praise and awards. 35. He snubbed a future star. Redford rejected Michael J. Fox for Ordinary People, reportedly flossing his teeth during the audition. 36. He didn't know what he was doing. Redford admitted he had no real knowledge of camera work before directing. 37. He had to think on his feet. He used storyboards to communicate with his crew until he learned the technical language of directing. 38. He had a top-secret split. Redford and his wife Lola quietly separated after years of marriage, but never revealed the reasons publicly. 39. He couldn't win. Even when Out of Africa won Best Picture, Redford was overlooked for an Oscar nomination. 40. He was almost in The Godfather. Redford was considered for Michael Corleone in The Godfather, but was ultimately passed over. 41. He only wanted a certain kind of role. Redford dropped out of The Verdict because he didn't like the lead character being portrayed as a loser. 42. He walked off a film. Paul Newman replaced him in The Verdict and earned an Oscar nomination. 43. He was desperate for a part. Redford wanted to star in The Graduate, but director Mike Nichols said he couldn't play a loser. 44. He was too cool. Nichols asked if a woman had ever rejected him. Redford didn't know what to say, proving Nichols's point. 45. He retreated from acting. Redford focused more on directing during the late 1980s and 1990s, only acting in select films. 46. He founded a famous festival. Redford founded the Sundance Film Festival, named after his iconic role, to support indie filmmakers. 47. He didn't like to kiss Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda said Redford was always in a bad mood on set and didn't enjoy kissing scenes. 48. He has an issue with women. Fonda said Redford had trouble with women, possibly explaining his awkwardness in romantic scenes. 49. He helped a tragic star. Redford calmed Natalie Wood during a scary moment filming on a boat. She later tragically drowned on a yacht trip. 50. He's still got it. Redford stayed active into his 80s and married artist Sybil Sagars in 2009 after a long relationship. 51. He lived an incredibly full life. Robert Redford passed away peacefully in his sleep on September 16, 2025, at age 89. Meryl Streep paid tribute, calling him one of the lions. And there you have it, 51 facts that peel back the polished surface of Robert Redford's incredible life. A man of contradictions, courage, and charisma, he truly left a permanent mark on cinema, even with all the shadows behind the spotlight. Whether he was in front of the camera or calling the shots behind it, Redford was always chasing something real. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a Hollywood icon, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your favorite Redford moment. Until next time, keep watching, keep wondering, and as always, stay golden.